Here are the video solutions for Pearson Edexcel Functional Skills Maths Level 2. This is past paper number 1 and this is section A, which is the non-calculator section. So let's get started. Question number 1. This is a sort of question which you would want to do on a calculator, but unfortunately we don't have access to one. And the first thing we need to do is 5.2 times 9.6. So what makes this challenging is the fact that we're dealing with decimals. Well, let's forget that they're decimals. Let's just work out 52 multiplied by 96. So we're going to have to do a column method for multiplication here. It doesn't matter which number's on the top, which one's on the bottom, since they're both 2 digits long. Starting with the 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 2 carry the 1, 6 5s are 30, plus the 1 is 31. Moving on to the 9, it's the 9 of 90, so we need to put in a 0. 9 times 2 is 18, 8 carry 1, 5 9s are 45, plus 1 is 46. So now all we need to do is just add the top and the bottom row. 2 plus nothing is 2, 1 plus 8 is 9, 3 plus 6 is 9, and 4 plus nothing is, of course, 4. So what we have here is 52 times by 96 is 4,992. So what is 5.2 multiplied by 9.6? All we need to do is count the number of digits that we see after decimal points. Well, we have 2 numbers after a decimal point, so therefore we need to create an answer that has 2 numbers after a decimal point. So therefore, if I just put my decimal point here, I've now got my 2 numbers after the decimal point and I am done. So the answer is 49.92. If you're not sure where to put the decimal points, although I have explained, just count the number of digits that appear after the decimal point in the question and repeat in the answer. But just think, well, 5 times 9 is 45. It's not far off 45. So therefore it can't be 499.2 or 4.992 in other words. B, work out 4 times 3 squared. Well, this question is a test of BIDMAS, so we need to do there are no brackets, but there are some indices. We've got 3 squared. Well, that means 3 times by 3, which is 9. So the question is now 4 times 9, and 4 9s are 36. Okay, let's have a look at question number 2. On Thursday evening, Malcolm's bank balance was minus £107.35, so he's in the red, and then this amount here is paid into the account. Well, instead of what we could do is add this amount to this negative number, but what we can do is just subtract this from the positive number. So 1867.68 take away 107.35. So do a nice column, keep the decimal points in line and everything else will be lined up correctly, and put a decimal point in the answer box. Start on the right hand side. 8 take away 5 is 3, 6 minus 3 is 3, 7 minus 7 is 0, 6 take away 0 is 6, 8 take away 1 is 7, and 1 minus nothing is 1. Okay, so negative £107.35 plus this number here gives us this number. Gives us this value here, 1,760.33. So the key there to make life easy is, instead of adding this to the negative number, start with this number here and then take that away. Now we have this amount which is paid out of the account, so we know the current balance before that happened is 1,760.33, so we just need to subtract this 715.21. Again, make sure decimal points are in line, so don't put this 7 of 715 under the 1 of 1,760. Decimal points in line in the answer box. 3 take away 1 is 2, 3 take away 2 is 1, 0 take away 5 can't be done, so 6 becomes a 5, this 0 becomes a 10, 10 minus 5 is 5, 5 minus 1 is 4, 7 minus 7 is 0, 1 minus nothing is 1. So the answer is therefore £1,045.12. Okay, so for this question here, we just need to calculate, well, first of all, let's just write down exactly. I know it just says estimation. So we've got 118 along the bottom. We've got another 118 here. We have 113 here and another 113 here. We've also got these 2 parts here. Now, we know it's 59 from this point here to the top, so that would be the same as from here to here, and this is a radius, and this is also a radius 2, so these two bits here are also 59, so we've got a 59 and a second 59, and what we have here is the circumference of a semicircle. Well, the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, and we want half of 2 pi r, so that is just 1 pi r, so plus pi times the radius, which we know is 59. Okay, so let's just now do some sensible estimation. Let's call 118, I would just call that 120, plus another 120, plus a 110, plus a 110, plus a 60, plus a 60. Now pi is 3.14, but here instead of we're using estimations, let's call it 3. So plus 3, and let's call the 59 60. Let's tidy this up. 120 plus 120 is 240, plus 110 plus 110 is 220, 60 plus 60 is 120, 3 60s are 180. 120 plus 180 is 300. So we've got 240 plus 220 plus 300. So we've got 240 plus 220 plus 300 is 520. 240 plus 520 is 520, 620, 720 plus 40, 760. So that is my estimation. Akash estimates that he will need 700 centimeters of plastic trim. Is it sensible? Well, I would say it's slightly under. I'm not really sure that the key bit of the question is comparing to Akash, more just checking that you've got an answer using your own estimation methods. It's not a million miles away, so you could say that is vaguely sensible as well, given that we've rounded up, although we have rounded down a couple of times as well. So probably 700 is a bit under, but I don't know, you could say either way that it's sensible or it's not enough. But I think proving that you can get this answer of 760 is the key here. Okay, so for this question, the first thing we need to do is work out the median and the range. So for the median, remember the median is the middle value when they are in ascending or descending order, but ascending order makes more sense. So let's put these in order. That's going to be 5, 8, 9, 10, 5, 8, 9, 10, 14, 17, 26, 32, 44 and 67. So to find the one in the middle, I'm going to cross off the one on the left and one on the right. I'm going to repeat that process again and do that again until I get either 1 or 2 in the middle. Now because we've got an even number of values, we're going to get 2 in the middle. So all we need to do now is work out, well, what is halfway between 14 and 17? Well, if that's not immediately obvious, what you can do is just add these two numbers together. 7 plus 4 is 11, carry the 1, 1, 2, 3, and divide this number by 2. How many 2's go into 31? That is 1 with a remainder of 1. That is a 5 with a remainder of 1, so put in a decimal point and a 0, so you can put the 1 on top of the 10, so 15.5. So the median is 15.5. So Calvin thinks that in the winter the median number of minutes late increases. Well, it was 12.7, so you can say here that yes, Calvin is correct. Now let's take a look at, he says here that the train is less consistent, so that is to do with the range. Now the range is the difference between the biggest and the smallest, so that's 67 take away 5, which is 62. So the range is 62, and previously it was 11, and he says the train service is now less consistent. Well, if the range is greater, then that proves that the consistency is less as well. So yeah, bigger range, less consistency. So again, Calvin is correct on this part as well. Okay, and that is the end of this test. Here are the video solutions for Pearson Edexcel Functional Skills Maths Level 2. This is past paper 1, and this is section B, which is the calculator section. So let's take a look at question number 1. So Adam works for an agency earning £8.32, and he's working 6 hours for this new company. So that's going to be £8.32 times by 6. However, he's going to get an extra third. So what we could do is we could work out 1/3 of this amount and then add it on, or we could just multiply by 1 1/3. And 1 1/3 as a decimal is 1.3 recurring. Now on the calculator you're probably going to want to just type in a few threes like so, and that comes to a total of 66.5598336. Well, that's what I'm getting with this number of threes. And the reason you don't need to, that's probably too many threes. All we want is an answer to, well, we only need 3 decimal places, so we can round it to 2 decimal places because we want 2 decimal places because it's pounds and pence. So we're going to look at the value of the 3rd decimal place, which is a 9. So that will round up to £66.56. 66.56. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. So we've been given the volume of the pyramid, which is 1/3 of the area of the base times the height. So the area of the base is 8.5 times by 8.5 multiplied by the height, which is 12.6, and we want 1/3 of that. So we just divide all of that by 3, and that will give us a total of 303.45, and that is cubic centimeters because it is a volume. But they've given us the units there, so we just need the 303.45. Question number 3, Rana donated to 4 charities last year. She gave £175 to each of these charities, so therefore I'm immediately thinking, well, how much did she give in total? That's 175 multiplied by 4, so that's a total of £700. This year Rana wants to donate the same total amount, which is the 700, between 6 charities. Each charity will receive an equal amount, so it's going to be 700 divided by 6, which is 116.666, or 6 recurring. Now, this can be rounded, if you're rounding it to, well, we want to give an answer in terms of pounds and pence, so I suppose we should round to 2 decimal places, in which case we're looking at the 3rd decimal place. 6 is greater than 5, so that will round up to 116.67. However, if that multiplied by 6 would take us to more than 700, although this is an acceptable answer, but also so is 116.66, which means Rana will get to keep a minuscule amount to herself. Either of these answers is fine, so I'm just going to put in 116.66. Use the reverse calculations to check your answer. Okay, so what we've done here is we've done 700 divided by 6 gives us this figure here. So let's try this the other way around. Let's do 116.66, and we are going to multiply that by 6. Now, because this has been rounded, we are not going to get £700 exactly, but hopefully we'll get something pretty close, and we get a total of 699.96. So that's pretty close to 700. So that tells me we've definitely done the correct thing. Question number 4, we need to work out the value of x and then stick it into this pitch table here. So we know that DB is a line of symmetry, so everything on the left hand side is exactly the same as on the right hand side, and the key thing is that this is an equilateral triangle. So this angle here is 60, this angle here is 60, and this angle here is 60 as well. Now if this is a line of symmetry, then this is going to be a right angle, and this is a right angle here. So if this is 60, then this must be 90 take away 60, which is 30. Now if this is a right angle, this is a straight line, ABC. We've been told the line ABC is a straight line, so therefore this is a right angle as well. So therefore this angle here is going to be 90 take away 30, which is also 60. Now AD is a straight line, so far, and angles on a straight line add up to 180. So we've got 60 plus 60, which is 120. 180 minus 120 is 60 degrees. So this angle here is going to be 60 degrees. And now we've got 180 minus the 90 minus the 60. That is 30 degrees. So x is 30 degrees. So all we need to do here is look up the angle of 30 degrees and see what the pitch is. Well, the pitch is therefore 7. So x, 30 degrees, pitch 7. Okay, so question number 5. The first thing we need to do is work out the area that is being tiled. Well, we've been told that it's 4 identical faces and each face is a triangle. So let's work out the area of one of these triangles. So the formula for the area of a triangle is the base times the height divided by 2. So that's 7.6 multiplied by 4.8 divided by 2. This is for one face, so for 4 faces, just multiply all of that by 4. And we get a total of 72.96 square meters. Now obviously I should be doing this working further down, but I don't want to be scrolling up and down the whole time because that would be a bit annoying. So we know that one pack of tiles covers 13.8 meters squared, and this is what we need to cover. So how many 13.8s go into 72.96? We just need to therefore do 72.96 divided by 13.8. And unfortunately this gives us a fairly horrible looking number, 5.28. Now this is closer to 5 than 6, but we're not going to round down to 5 because if we only get 5 packs then we will not have enough coverage for the whole roof. Better to buy too many tiles than not enough, so we're going to have to round this up to 6. So if we're buying 6 packs, that's going to be 6 lots of the cost of one pack, which is £716.10. And that comes to a total of £4,296.60. Okay, so question number 6. We've been told that this is a saving of 46%. This is decreased, so we want to work out this percentage decrease. Now remember that the formula for any percentage decrease or increase is the difference divided by the original multiplied by 100. So what is the difference between the two prices? Well, that is 30.99 take away 16, and that is going to be divided by the original. What was it? Well, it even says original price, so the price before it was reduced, multiplied by 100. So let's work out the difference. 30.99 take away 16, that's a difference of £14.99. Divide that by 30.99 and then multiply by 100, and that comes to a total of 48.37% to 2 decimal places, or you might just want to call that 48%. So is the sale price a saving of 46%? No, it is a saving of 48%. So the website claim is false. Okay, so question number 7. So we know the scale is 1 centimetre to 40 metres. Now, forgetting the units for a minute, we can see that the metre number is 40 times greater, or the centimetre number is 40 times less. So we need to think of what's 220 divided by 40? What is 160 divided by 40, and what is 340 divided by 40? Well, 220 divided by 40, that is 5.5. So that is going to be 5.5 centimetres on the scale drawing. This is going to be 4 centimetres, and this 340 divided by 40, that is 8.5 centimetres. Okay, so we need to draw this on the grid, so I'm going to start off with the 8.5 centimetre base. So let's start here, let's go across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 8.5. There we go, that's that one done. Oops, I've not done it perfectly straight. Now let's do this is 4 centimetres up, so 4 centimetres up from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Along the top we've got 5.5 centimetres. Here's the 0.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously with a pencil and ruler this should be a lot easier for you than me with having to draw this using these funny lines. And therefore A to D is just A to D like so. There we go, and we are done. Okay. So what we need to do now is we're using part A to work out the actual length of the line AD. So this is the line AD here. So all you need to do is measure this, and that should be 5 centimetres. I know it's 5 centimetres because it's if we just look at this as a right angled triangle, we've got 3 by 4, so therefore the hypotenuse would be 5. But yeah, the easiest way is, of course, just measure it using a ruler. It should be 5 centimeters. Now the scale was 1 centimeter to what was it again? 40 meters. So 1 centimeter to 40 meters. 40 meters. So therefore 5 centimeters will be this number multiplied by 5. So that is 200 meters. Okay, so question number 8. Pablo's investigating the relationship between the land area and the population of 8 European countries. So we've got an incomplete table, so we need to fill in here for the UK, for the land area and the population. Now for the land area, notice that this is kilometres squared, and it's written in 1,000 kilometre squares, and we've been told that it's 93,400 square miles. Now we've been told that 1 square mile is 2.6 kilometres squared, so therefore the UK's land area in kilometres squared is going to be 93,400 multiplied by 2.6, and that is 242,840 kilometre squared. Now we can't type this number in here. We need to first of all we also need to it says round the land area to the nearest 10,000. Okay, so let's just look at this number, 242,840. So we've got units, tens, 100s, we've got thousands here. So here we've got tens of thousands. So if we're rounding to the nearest 10,000, then we need to look at the value in the thousands column, which is 2 less than 5. So this will round down to 240,000. So let me just write that down here. So rounding that down to so that it's to the nearest 10,000 is 240,000 kilometers squared. Now we can see here that this is for every 1,000 kilometers squared, so we just need to divide this number here by 1,000. So that just means we can just chop off 3 zeros, so that is 240. So 240 is going to be the number that goes there, and that seems about right. Give it's if it was 2,000, if you'd written in 2,400 or 24, that might just seem a little bit weird compared to the other ones. Right, so now we just need to put in the population. Now we've been told that the population was 56.1 million and it has increased by 19.6%. So we need to multiply this number here by 1.196. Where's this number coming from? Okay, if you're working out 19.6% of an amount, you would multiply by 0.196. This is the percentage multiplier to calculate 19.6% of an amount. It's basically this number here divided by 100. Now, if we're increasing by 19.6%, all we need to do is add 1 to this number, and that gives us the 1.196. 56.1 times 1.196, that comes to 67.0956. We've been told we want to round the population to the nearest million, so we're just interested in the first decimal place, so that is therefore 67 million. Okay, now so for the next part, it does say here, so we filled in the information and draw a suitable graph and write a comment about the correlation. Okay, so let's just, I don't want to be scrolling up and down the whole time, so here are the values that we need to plot. It's 360, 83, so let's just write down the populations, 130, 300, 310, 510, 640, 240, and the UK one we worked out was 240, and here we've got 11, 58, 39, 47, 67, 19, and 67. Okay, so this just saves me scrolling back up and down the whole time. So let's just take a look here. We've got the land area is going up in 100s, so that means each small square is going up in, we're going up in 20s. On on the vertical axis here, the population, we're going up in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So that means each line is going to be 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so the first one is 360, 83. So 300, 320, 340, 360. And that is 83. Well, let's just go up on the 300 to 80. So we want 360, 20, 40, 60. And 83 is halfway between 82 and 84, so about here. So that one's been done. 130, 11, so 130 is halfway between 120 and 140, and we want 11, which is halfway between 10 and 12, so I just put a little dot there. Normally I put X's, but I feel like they're just going to be too, they'll just use up too much space on the graph here. This next one, if I read my writing correctly, was a 300 and a 58. Well, 300 is nice and easy. It's exactly on this line, and it's 58, so one down from 60, so that is there. Okay, 310, 39, so that's halfway between 300 and 320, and 39 is halfway between 40 and 38, so it's right in the middle of this box here. It's hard to be really accurate. 510, 47, so 500 halfway between the 500 and the 520 line, and 47, let's go up on the 500 to begin with, 42, 44, 46, so 47 and a half, again right in the middle of this box here. 640, 67, so at least that's bang on this line here, and we're going up to 67, so 60, 62, 64, 66, 67, and across on this line here. 240, 19, so that's two lines across from 200 and half down from 20, so that is right there. And the final one, 240, so it's going to be the exactly the same line, but we want to go up to 67, so 60, 2, 4, 6, 7. There we go. So we've plotted them all. So we can see that, well, we need to comment on the correlation. Well, we can see as the land area is increasing, then the population is also increasing. We could draw in a line of best fit here. So a line that cuts through the sort of center of all these data points, trying to keep them all as close to the line as possible. So this might be about right, you could argue, you could move it either way. So there's my line of best fit. So you can see that the trend is that the line is going upwards. However, we can see that a lot of the data points are not massively close to this line. So that would be a sign that although there is positive correlation, it's quite weak. So we could say here that as far as we can just say there is weak positive correlation. There we go, and we are done. Question number 9, Magda wants to compare the population density of the two largest countries in the world, and she's using this formula here. So K is the population density in square kilometres, P is the population in millions, and M is the land area in million square miles. So let's have a look here. So for Russia, K is going to be P, which is the population, and it's in millions. So this number is in millions, so that's good. So it's 143.96 divided by 2.59 M. So that's 2.59 multiplied by M, which is the land area in millions of square miles. And this is in millions of square miles, so 6.593. So let's work out we need to work out the 2.59 times 6.593 to begin with, and so that's going to be 143.96 divided by 17.07587, and 143.96 divided by that number is 8.4306. So this is the population density of Russia, and that is greater than 3.57, so yes, Magda is correct. Okay, question number 10. Work out 3 3/8 minus 9/8 give your answer as a mixed number. So first of all, I'm going to turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. So 3 3/8, that's going to be 3 times 8 plus 3. 3 eighths are 8, 16, 24, 25, 26, 27. So that is 27/8 take away 9/8. And 27/8 take away 9/8. And that comes to a total of 18/8. Now 18/8, this can be simplified. Both the top and the bottom can be divided by 2, so that is 9/4. And 9/4, or how many 4s go into 9? That is 2 with a remainder of 1, so that is 2 1/4. So there is my answer as a mixed number. Use estimation to show a check of your answer. It's quite an unusual thing to do, really. So we've got 3 3/8. Let's just write the question again. 3 3/8 take away, I've forgotten already what it was. It was 9/8. Now 3 3/8, that's very close to 3 4/8, which would be 3 1/2. So let's just call that 3 1/2. And 9/8, that's very close to 8/8, which is 1. 3 1/2 take away 1, that is 2 1/2. Which is pretty close to, well, it's close-ish to 2 1/4. So yeah, it's approximately 2 1/4. We'd probably say 2 1/4 is approximately 2 1/2. Anyway, we're in the right ballpark. So we've used estimation to show a check of the answer. I do think this part B is a little bit odd though. Question 11, Emilio makes metal fences using the design. And we can see that the horizontal pieces are 1.8, 1.8, 1.8, 1.8. We've got 2 tall metal pieces, which are the 1.14. So these are the shorts and these are the mediums. Okay, so we've been told, it's quite a challenging question this, so we know the ratio is 9 to 8 to 7. So tall to medium to short, the ratio is 9 to 8 to 7. Okay, so what we can do with ratios, we can turn them into fractions. Now this is going to be 9 24ths, 8 24ths and 7 24ths. How do we know it's 24ths? Well, 9 plus 8 plus 7 is 24. Now we know that the tall one is 1.44. So therefore, from that we can say that 9 24ths equals 1.44 meters. Now, if 9 24ths is 1.44 meters, then what is 8 24ths in terms of meters, and what is 7 24ths as meters? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out what 1 24th is. Now this is 9 times less than 9 24ths, so it's going to be 1.44 divided by 9. And that comes to 0.16 meters. Now if 1 24th is 0.16 meters, then 8 24ths, that is going to be 0.16 multiplied by 8, and that is 1.28 meters, and therefore the 7 24ths, that is going to be 0.16 times by 7, and that is 1.12 meters. Okay, so let's just make a note of these are the key values, 1.28 and 1.12. So medium 1.28 and the short was 1.12. So now all we need to do, I'll just do the workings up here so I'm not scrolling up and down the whole time. So for the horizontal we've got 3 lots of 1.8. For the tall, we've got 2 times by 1.44. For the medium, we've got 5 times by 1.28. And for the short, we've got 6 times 1.12. So let's work out these totals here. 3 times by 1.8 is 5.4. 2 1.44s are 2.88. 5 times 1.28 is 6.4. And 6 times by 1.12 is 6.72. So these are the lengths, well, the total lengths of the horizontals, the tall, the medium, and the small. So the total we will need is all of these figures added together, and that comes to a total of 21.4 meters, and that is the final answer. So 21.4. Okay, question number 12, we've got a two-way table. So we know that there are a total of 60 holidays, 34 were booked by couples, so the rest were booked by families, and 60 minus the 34, that is 26. So there were 26 families. We can also work out the total for all-inclusive, 18 couples, 14 families, so that is a total of 32. For bed and breakfast, we know there's a total of 23, of which 10 were families, so therefore 13 must have been couples. 23 minus 10 is 13. So now we can work out the number of families who did room only. We know there were 26 families in total, 14 all-inclusive and 10 B&B, so the rest were room only, so that would be 26, take away 14, take away 10, which is 2, and the total room only is 3 plus 2, which is 5. Let's just check. 5, well, whenever I put in the final number, I just check that this row works as well. 5 plus 23 plus 32, yes, it does equal 60, so I know that the table is correct. So part A we have now done. Part B, what's the probability? So a customer who bought a holiday at the travel agency is chosen at random, so any customer. What is the probability that this customer bought all-inclusive holiday for a couple? So how many of the 60, so how many out of the 60 were a couple all-inclusive? Okay, so let's take a look. So couple all-inclusive is 18. So there we have it. That is going to be 18 out of 60. Now we've got two even numbers, so this fraction can be simplified by dividing top and bottom by 2. So that's 9 over 30. Both of these numbers are multiples of 3, so we can divide top and bottom by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 30 divided by 3 is 10. So the probability is 3/10. Okay, so the travel agent says of the couples and families who bought holidays, the couples were more likely to have bought an all-inclusive holiday. Okay, so what we want to do is work out of the couples, how many of the couples bought all-inclusive. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So how of so we know that there were 34 couples, and how many were all-inclusive? Well, that is 18. So that is 18 out of 34. So let's just write down that. So that's 18 over 34, and that is the couples. And the other one is, of course, the families. So how many families were there in total? There were a total of 26 families, of which 14 went all-inclusive. So that's 14 over 26, and I'll just put here FAMS, short for families. So which is bigger? Okay, so what I would do here is turn these into percentages. That's probably the easiest thing to do. So top divided by bottom multiplied by 100, so that is 52.9%, and 14 divided by 26 multiplied by 100, that is 53.8%. So we can see that the families were more likely to book all-inclusive than the couples. So does that contradict, or does that support what the travel agent says? I forgot what the travel agent said. Of the couples and families who bought holidays, the couples were more likely. No, the couples were less likely, so incorrect. The families were more likely. But the key thing is we've proven it using some actual maths, so the final comment is kind of irrelevant really, but it's worth putting it into words just to answer the actual question. And that takes us to the end.